journey starts in Wellington, New Zealand's political capital and the northern terminal of the Interislander ferries. The ferries that will carry you on this return journey across Cook Strait follow a line of vessels that have provided a fascinating and beneficial service for over 50 years. They form an integral part of the road and rail transport systems of New Zealand and are economically crucial in bridging the North and South Islands. Passing by the eastern suburbs of the city at the beginning of this internationally acclaimed voyage, you will soon behold the scenic landscapes that have enthralled countless travellers who have been before. After passing close by the Pencarrow lighthouses, with the Kaikoura Mountains coming into view, we will soon reach the narrow passage of Cook Strait that divides the country in two and is well known for its strong tidal currents, with occasional rough seas and fierce winds. Our path through the Marlborough Sounds to the South Island's gateway port at Picton begins at Tory Channel, a major arm of Queen Charlotte Sound that is separated by Arapawa Island. At the head of Queen Charlotte Sound is the town of Picton, named after Sir Thomas Picton, a Welsh military associate of the Duke of Wellington. And from here, the South Island's road and rail networks begin. The Marlborough Sounds are a labyrinth of sea-drowned valleys which, according to indigenous legend, were formed when Kupe, the great Maori warrior, chased a giant octopus, finally catching it in Cook Strait. And as a result of the battle which followed, the myriad of waterways and headlands were created. European farmers settled large areas of the Sounds during the late 19th and early 20th centuries, and a significant mussel farming industry has now been established, with their floating buoys being seen throughout the Sounds. With Wellington just ahead, and your journey nearing its end, this glimpse of cruising across Cook Strait and through the Marlborough Sounds on the Interislander ferries can only be surpassed by being there.
My job entails on a daily basis looking after all the passengers and the passenger services. So all the outlets, the cafe, the bar, the food, drink on board. We've got award-winning baristas on here as well, coffee makers. We had 2 gold medalists that work on board the Kaitaki that were recently in the Wellington Culinary Fair. We have a selection of sandwiches, sushi, etc. that's made in and cakes that are made in our own production kitchen. We also offer a selection of hot meals. We tend to find, while we've chopped and changed a bit over the years, it's all the old favourite Kiwi staples that we come back to, because they seem to be the ones that are most in demand. And we do try to cater as well for other dietary requirements. You know, we do provide a few gluten-free options, dairy-free options, and we have got a few vegetarian options as well, yes.
I'm the OBSS, which is the Onboard Services Supervisor. I supervise the Onboard Services crew that run all the outlets and do the customer services on board. Today there was, I think, 9 or 10 crew. Maybe 5 or 6 would be the lowest on the night sailings and when we don't really have many passengers. There's a lot of variety in my role, so I have a little bit of officey type stuff, you know, ordering and banking, and you get to interact with quite a lot of passengers, different types of passengers. You hear some great stories about people, and even on the worst days when it's really rough, you're there and you're able to help people, and that's quite satisfying.
Onboard service as well is the Kaitaki Plus Lounge, which is the premium lounge, very similar to the sort of service that Air New Zealand would offer with the Koru Club. And then it's complimentary food, tea, coffee, alcohol, newspapers, Wi-Fi connection for the course of their journey. Also on board for the traveller we have some passenger cabins that are available for hire, sleep 4 in a bunk style, and we also have nurseries that are available freely. People can just take their young child, put them down for a sleep again during a sailing. Down on deck 2 we've got Play Zone, which is a fully operational climbing frame and play area for children. We do on average 165 meals a day for crew. For live on board, breakfast, lunch and dinner. We also do a meal at between 11:30 at night and 1 in the morning for the night crew.
There's a wide variety of people that work on here and live on here. I think the crew are the best things about these ships.
We're fortunate enough in New Zealand, and I don't know if we appreciate it enough, the scenery that we're surrounded by. You know, Marlborough Sound's some of the most stunning scenery in the world. And to be honest with you, for a relaxing way to travel, there's no better way for crossing the Cook Strait or getting to the South Island than coming aboard a ferry.
I'm Sam Carey, first mate on the Kaitaki. Kaitaki, also known as the Challenger. Doing a usual crossing, early crossing for the day. Coming up to Karori, bit of fishing traffic, good day for fishing. You see the Arahura coming down on our port side, the Santa Regina ahead of us, and the traffic as you see it would be very typical to a morning crossing at this time. Target number 17 is Arahura coming down on her usual track. If you focus on that, you'll see her with the name. It's got a vector coming down, which is in red, saying that she would be a dangerous target. That's the reason we're coming around to starboard. We pass each other port to port. A radar representation. Each target has a vector. We can acquire information of each target. In this case, we got the Santa Regina there, which is 3.1 miles from us, and she's doing a speed of 13.5 knots. We're doing a speed of 16.5 knots. At the moment, the ship is on autopilot, which takes us feet from the gyro compass, and when the helmsman takes it on hand, you could steer from the steering wheel here. Mostly we use it in the sounds of a large alteration of course, or the weather was too bad that we couldn't steer on autopilot, the helmsman would steer. We're using 4 engines today. Normally run 3 engines or to maintain an economical speed. That's the port side fin with CCTV that we can look at all the cargo decks. And then you have the starboard fin. You can see a speed through the water, you can see a RPM on the engines, you can see a rate of turn, wind direction, and the strength of the wind. So pretty much what can be done from the main console is incorporated into this wing console. And that's it.
I'm one of the chief engineers on board the Aratiri. We work on a 7-day roster, so we're on here for the 7 days, for the 24 hours a day. And the vessel, on a normal swing, will probably have 3 engineering officers who cover the watches during the day. And we'll also have an electrical officer and 2 first engineers and myself on board the vessel during that time. The entire setup isn't totally dissimilar from a power station, and each of the main engines are alternators that are feeding to a 3.3 kV switchboard. After it goes from up to the 3.3 kV switchboard, some of that power is tapped off for our 400 volt services, and that supplies everything from the pumps, power for the pumps, to the galley, to the air conditioning, sewage plants, cooling plants, and the other part of it is of course 230 volt for lighting and what have you. And then you've got the actual propulsion. The propulsion system is 4 propulsion motors, and they're AC motors which are a variable speed, and the drive for those comes from the Megastar, which converts the 3.3 kV and allows us to then alter the frequency so we can alter the speed of those motors. The plant's running for 24 hours a day, and the propulsion motors are running, you know, obviously when we're doing the crossings across Cook Strait and everything. That's a huge number of hours that's put on the plant. Your normal car probably has a service life of 2,000 hours, whereas the main engines that we're running have already got over 80,000 hours on each main engine. And that just sort of like gives you some idea of the amount of running that everything's doing. And of course, with all that running, there's a heck of a lot of maintenance to be done as well to keep it running efficiently and to maintain its reliability. We're fortunate we have a good team of engineers who are a maintenance team of engineers, and they do a lot of the normal schedules and everything during the crossings. So again, it's the flexibility of the plant which allows you to take one alternator out of operation and then be able to do the work on the engine.
Your attention please, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Picton. gateway to the South Island.
My name is Matthew Colliers and I'm captain on the Interislander. I left school at the age of 18, went to sea as a cadet and did an Officer of the Watch certificate, which I studied for 4 years, and then I spent another 3 years at sea before I studied another year for my Master's certificate. Got my Master's certificate when I was 29 years old, and I've been working at sea right through since then, and got promoted to Master when I was 38. Here I need to do a Master's familiarisation on board, and to sail as Master I need a parties exemption, which is specific to the ship and to the port. My responsibility is the safety of the vessel, navigation of the vessel, pilotage, berthing, and to coordinate the 3 departments on board, the deck, engine and onboard services. There are 2 on-duty masters on one ship at any one time. We need 15 minimum to man the fleet, so that there are 4 for each ship and 1 as a leave relief on each ship. It's a good place to work, it's a great place to work. Some good people here. Wellington Harbour and Marlborough Sounds is a beautiful place to work. The Marlborough Sounds are possibly the most beautiful stretch of water I've ever worked in, when the weather's nice. When the weather's not so nice, it's not so nice. Every day's different, every cargo's different, the weather's different every day, so no, very rarely get bored.
3, 2, 1. Oh, okay, there's spare coming down.
My name is Jose Sierra, and I'm a onboard services supervisor here on Kaitaki. We're pretty much in charge of all the crew that we have on board and all the outlets that are running smoothly, as well as a big part of our business that is the commercial vehicles. They come on board and then they can get like their dinner.
Truck drivers are quite hearty eaters. We make sure we find out what sort of food they like and we do the best we can to look after them. I do the veggie prep for the next day, salads, all that sort of stuff, cold meat platters, potatoes, onions, and carrying on with that, I then do the late night meal, which is called black pan, and then I feed the truck drivers on the way back to Wellington.
After they have dinner and they're in the facilities here with a television, newspaper, internet, they decide they can stay there. If not, of course, they have the option to get their cabin that is located on deck 5. Yes, they can have a good sleep down there after a good meal.
Well, first off, get a meal, get your meal, get that sorted, and then head to your room. And I always have a shower. Generally, well, of course, you're working all day, so, and then tuck up for 2 or 3 hours. And
yeah, they had nice bacon, eggs, and sausages. Oh.
Well, they give you a variety. I mean, you don't have to have the breakfast that's available. You can go to the food court and get what you want from there, you know, sandwiches, rolls, drinks.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. I couldn't manage it too much for me, like, but yeah, you get a decent... I've never had any complaints with the food on here at all. No.
I'd just like to make sure that the drivers feel welcome on board Kaitaki, and of course the other 2 ships, Aratere and Arahura.
Top crew. You can do anything. You have a laugh with them. You want something, they'll sort it out if we need something else.
They're all good, yeah. No, we have a lot of fun. Like the other fellow was saying, we just, you know, they're good sorts. They get to know us, we get to know them, regulars on the ship and that. So, yeah, it's just like meeting up with your mates.
Yeah, we always are welcoming for any feedback they got to get us, and for sure we'll try to supply their demands.